punishes you. No one can protect you. The entire place fell silent instantly, and the adventurers reluctantly shut their mouths. We were just joking. Please don't take it to heart, Lord Perseus, one of the adventurers said with a laugh. Perseus ignored both their words and their previous offensive behavior, his smile remaining calm. Please don't worry too much about my identity. I've come to Eagle Peak City in my personal capacity. I happen to be invited by the city lord and the count to integrate the power of adventurers on the heavenly ladder ranking and do something very interesting together. This caused another stir among the adventurers, who began whispering and discussing among themselves. The irreconcilable conflict between Lord Robert and Earl Murphyat was common knowledge throughout Eagle Peak City, and these people were certainly well aware of it. Now, these two sworn enemies, who wish they could kill each other's entire families, have actually joined forces to do something. Even a fool knows that this matter, which can allow the two families to put aside their differences and grudges, must be of paramount importance. Ordinary people might avoid this kind of thing like the plague, fearing that it would affect their normal lives, but for adventurers like them, it's even more attractive than illicit drugs. Even if they get nothing in return, they would be more than happy to see a show. Lord Perseus, what exactly is this interesting thing you mentioned? Someone asked impatiently. The others also looked on with anticipation and excitement, clearly because this was exactly the question they wanted to ask. I'm sorry. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, we cannot disclose this matter to you all at the moment. Please wait for 3 more days, and everything will be made public in 3 days, Perseus said. Instantly, the entire audience erupted in wailing and howling. Keeping someone in suspense is a very annoying behavior, and for some curious and impatient people, it's more painful than killing them. So they pressed on relentlessly, asking not only Perseus but also Robert, but both gave the same answer, leaving them both itching with curiosity and helpless. But Perseus raised his voice, silencing the others and making them stare at him intently. I can guarantee that this will be the biggest, most interesting, and most rewarding event you will ever encounter in your lives. Believe me, I guarantee in His Majesty's noble name that your waiting and patience will be absolutely worthwhile. His resounding and confident promise silenced most of the discontent in the room, and the remaining discontent gradually subsided. Instead, there was an overwhelming anticipation for that matter. The adventurers, who were eager and grimacing, surprisingly quieted down. Robert glanced at Perseus, then smiled and warmly greeted the adventurers. Please follow me, everyone. Tonight, we'll drink until we drop. Good. Chapter 167 Death and the Elf. Perseus was also present at the banquet, but unlike the banquets in the capital, he did not indulge in excessive eating and drinking. He was quite reserved, and it took him half a day to finish a single cup of wine. Putting that matter aside, these adventurers were also very interested in him personally, all because of his special identity. The emperor's favorite minister, the duke's boyfriend. Different adventurers are interested in different things. However, they were interested in whatever aspect, they had to keep a close eye on Perseus, hoping to chat with him and become acquainted with him so that they could build a closer relationship in the future. Robert was also a person who liked to follow good advice. He would often express his respect and high regard for him as the city lord, which made the adventurers more convinced that he was of great status and had a bright future. As a result, they rushed to curry favor with him. Perseus remained amiable throughout, giving no one any ammunition to criticize him. Yet he did not stop them from having wild fantasies or abandoning their dreams of rising to prominence through him. No wonder those leaders love to make empty promises, since his subordinates work hard and diligently without him having to give anything in return, and they even have to be grateful to him. Sometimes, people don't need anything tangible. It is enough to simply give them hope. But even with that, he still couldn't possibly get these unruly adventurers to obey all his orders. Fortunately, he didn't need these people's obedience and loyalty. He just wanted to maintain the superficial superior-subordinate relationship. As the banquet progressed into its latter half, and many adventurers were already unconscious from drunkenness, Robert, who appeared to be quite tipsy, stood up and gave Perseus a wink. Perseus understood and followed. 5 other people followed him. These are the 6-tier powerhouses on Robert's side. 3 of them were from the Deathwing Adventure Group. The other 2 are from the Fourth Wind Whisper Adventure Team. It seems Robert has other plans for these people. In the office, Robert relinquished his throne to Perseus, standing to the side as if Perseus were the leader. The other 5 people were standing in front of the desk. Lord of the city, it's really unfair that we can't even sit down, one adventurer complained with a laugh. Even I can only stand before Lord Perseus. Please feel free to sit if you wish, Robert said calmly. This made the adventurers look much more serious, and the way they looked at Perseus changed. Perseus was truly innocent in this matter. He didn't think he had that kind of authority, but Robert insisted on praising him. I don't know if they're trying to promote him or to ruin him by praising him too much. Robert introduced them to him one by one. These 3 are Reiner, Ethan, and Chelsea from the Deathwing Adventurer Group. The other 2 are from the Wind Whisper Adventurer Group, Dylan and Sophia. I've long admired your name. Perseus nodded in acknowledgement. 4 of the 5 smiled at him, except for Dylan from the Wind Whisper Adventure Team. This guy is the kind of handsome guy with a cold demeanor, and his pointed ears indicate that he is an elf. The Wind Whisper Adventure Team consists of 4 members, all of whom are elves. The elven race is an unavoidable monument in the world of sex slavery. Both men and women are stunningly beautiful and tempting, and each one can fetch a high price, with demand exceeding supply. But his 6-tier strength was enough for Dylan to avoid those unfriendly eyes. No wonder he was so arrogant. In contrast, Sophia looked much kinder, and her face and figure were both excellent, exuding an irresistible allure. Even the 2 men from the Deathwings Adventure Group, who were obviously experienced in such matters, couldn't help but glance at her prominent parts from time to time. This is why Dylan looked so unhappy. Perseus also admired Sophia, but unfortunately she was already taken. Furthermore, according to intelligence, this Sophia is a psychopath who appears angelic on the surface, but is a devil at heart, and her favorite food is human whip. They were eaten alive, bloodied, and raw as food. She didn't mind the somewhat blatant stares. Instead, she greeted them with a smile and a provocative look in her eyes. But the 2 men over there clearly knew her background and didn't dare to meet her gaze at all. Snort. Chelsea was a beautiful but bald tomboy, and it was unclear whether she was grumbling about her companion's lack of resolve or about Sophia's feigned frivolity. Sophia wasn't angry, and instead gave her a few seductive winks. Perseus was a little confused by this. The information didn't say that she also liked Huanchi. I presume you are all among the best under the Lord command? Perseus smiled. I look forward to your outstanding performance on this trip. Lord Perseus, since you specifically summoned us here, you should be able to tell us what that matter is, right? Ethan asked. This is a short, thin man with a very lewd appearance, demeanor, and smile. It is said that he particularly likes voluptuous and tall women. Sophia over there, though voluptuous, is far from reaching Ethan's target area. It's only her unique charm as an elf that makes Ethan unable to resist looking at her more. Ethan's strike zone is 1.8 meters tall and weighs 380 pounds. Lord of the city? Perseus looked at Robert. Ethan, with your cleverness, surely you can figure it out? Robert smiled. Hee hee. How am I supposed to guess if you don't tell me? Ethan's lewdness level soared as he laughed. All I know is that you silenced a few poor guys. I didn't do it. They got themselves killed. Robert said without changing his expression. The relics of the gods, Dylan said coldly. The expressions of the others changed drastically. Although they had guessed it and were somewhat certain of it, their hearts still pounded wildly when the word was actually uttered. It's a relic of God, Robert said. Hee. Ethan laughed. Damn it, I finally ran into one. Even if I die right now, it'll be worth it. It's better not to die so soon, Reiner said with a smile. If you die, the strength of our Deathwing will be diminished. And how will we compete with the others? It's okay, at most a 1% discount, Chelsea said. Reiner laughed heartily. Ethan didn't react at first, but when he did, he wanted to curse, but Chelsea's cold gaze shut him up. Sophia was amused and let out a charming laugh that could easily embarrass the man. You're enough for us, Dylan said coldly. TCH, we'll talk when you guys surpass us in the rankings. Chelsea schneidet. If you die in the ruins of the gods, we will naturally surpass you, Dylan said, making a startling statement. Don't talk nonsense, Robert quickly reprimanded, to prevent the conflict from escalating. This time, you are all representing the Empire in the expedition to the ruins of God. Each of you is an indispensable and important figure. If you fight amongst yourselves, it will be a loss for the Empire. Why should we represent your Empire? Dylan said coldly. We are elves. TCH, you sissy, you can't even get an erection, but you're all talk. Chelsea mocked again. I'd love to, Dylan insisted without backing down. Sophia smiled without saying a word, licking her lips, which sent a chill down Perseus's spine. Dylan is indeed effeminate, but he wasn't born that way. What is he doing? Dedicate oneself to love. Chapter 168, They Are All Loyal. Robert sternly stopped the argument again, then looked intently at Dylan. The Empire will not forget your hard work, and every effort will be rewarded. Does your so-called reward include the things inside the relics of the gods? Dylan asked. That property belongs to the Empire, and no one is allowed to lay a finger on it. Then there's no need to continue. Dylan pointed towards the Deathwings adventurer group. Everyone knows the value of the gods' ruins, and knows that it's incomparable to any amount of money. If you let people like them see what's inside, do you think they'll take back what they've already eaten? I certainly won't, Dylan said again. But we elves aren't as hypocritical as you humans. I'll make everything clear, and I won't pretend to cooperate with you while doing those underhanded things behind your backs. You are openly defying the Empire. Robert's face darkened. Then may I ask which law of your empire I have violated? Dylan asked calmly. Robert remained silent. Then it seems that even you, Lord of the City, cannot punish me, Dylan said. I appreciate your previous consideration for us, but this time we will only fight for ourselves and will take our leave first. He gestured to Sophia that he was about to leave. You can leave, Perseus said seriously, but you cannot tell anyone about the appearance of the divine ruins. If any news leaks out, we will assume it was you who told us, and no matter how you try to explain, we will find you and make you pay the price you deserve. Oomph. Dylan sneered. Even if you don't ramble on, we elves aren't a race that likes to talk too much. Sophia looked at Perseus with great interest. Lord Perseus, you are so manly. Such praise coming from this woman only sent a chill down Perseus's spine. If you miss me, you can come to see me anytime. You know where we live. Sophia gave him a flirty wink and obediently followed Dylan away. After the Wind Whisperer adventurers left, the three members of Deathwings looked at Perseus with strange eyes. What's wrong? Perseus smiled. Lord Perseus, Chelsea hesitated. You should probably avoid going to that woman. Reiner said with a serious face. I heard it from a friend. He said it would be really cool, like the coolest I've ever been before. Ethan said with some regret. It's a pity that you can only have fun once, and you can never have fun again. Some people agreed on impulse, but afterwards they regretted it so much that they wanted to commit suicide. But if you're the kind of person who's willing to do anything to pursue the ultimate experience, then just pretend I didn't say anything. Perseus smiled slightly, looking as if he didn't understand. A 5th-tier mage can heal severe injuries to organs. But if all the organs are gone, even a 6th-tier mage is powerless to help. A 7th-tier light mage, the only one that comes to mind, is an archbishop from a distant land. So this Sophia is definitely a dangerous woman. Tisk, Chelsea said with displeasure. These elves are too arrogant. They dare to disregard us. I think we should just